We were tasked with designing a fabric bucket because third world countries face difficulties when transporting water long distances. For example, millions of people around the world don't have effective ways to transport clean water from wells. Transport of river water often contains organic and inorganic dissolved contaminants. Contamination occurs during the transportation process as well as the loss of water from leakage and other ways. In some countries, people spend more than 30 minutes to an hour to collect water on a single trip. Many women have to make the trip several times every day. Research shows that in countries in sub-Saharan Africa, there are an estimated 13.54 million women and 3.36 million children who are responsible for water collection trips that take 30 minutes or longer. Women sacrifice other activities and their well-being to be able to collect the water long distances. Furthermore, some areas have water points to collect water to protect against any contamination, but this could still have traces of E. coli and other contaminants in the groundwater sources due to inadequate latrines, or the containers used to carry the water are not sanitary.
For our Imagine phase, we wanted to create a product that would help combat these water sanitation issues in underdeveloped countries. So what we decided to do as a group was to make a fabric bucket backpack that was both versatile in helping women, children in underdeveloped countries take water long distances, but also make it comfortable and practical as well. Our design was in this design of a cinch sack so that these women and children, instead of balancing it on their heads, were able to carry it on their backs for longer distances and to make the process much more efficient.
During our planning process, we found a design on a website online. We considered various designs and then decided on the cinch sack bucket. We, however, altered the design by creating a single seam on the bottom of the bag rather than using an entire circle seam to prevent more leakage. We also added handles in addition to the straps in order for the bucket to be tested for it to qualify in the competition. Our materials that we used included the canvas material, fabric fusion glue, a leak seal spray in order to make the canvas waterproof, scissors, hot glue, rope, a sewing machine, thread, and Sharpie markers to add a design.
To create our beautiful fabric bucket, we had to go through multiple tests. We first obtained the canvas material from the engineering resource room. After, our team went on a road trip to Home Depot and Michael's to get a sealant, red rope, and fabric glue. After this, we started the process of creating the beautiful bucket. We cut our bucket so it could fit the required dimensions for a FEDD. To make the bucket durable to hold water, we sewed up the seams, added a second layer, stuffed the inside of the bucket with cotton, and more. At the end, one of our creative team members, Bethany, drew the NC State logo, and below that, engineering, to add a final touch to our fabric bucket.
After 2 rounds of preliminary testing, our bucket was still experiencing leakage and we knew we needed to improve the design. In order to improve, we went back to the resource room, acquired more canvas, and folded it inwards and placed it inside of our original bucket so it had a double layer to reinforce the bucket. Additionally, we bought another bottle of leak seal and sprayed the bucket again so our coating would be reinforced to hopefully make our final product ready for testing.
The next included video is the testing of our bucket at the FEDD competition.
Is this the one that's 2 bags, right? The inside one doesn't have a seam, and the outside one does? Okay. All right, so starting. All right. Seams that way. Yeah. I think she's home. Yeah, looks good. Uh-oh. I'm sorry. Spoke too soon. Spoke too soon.
Sadly, our fabric bucket did not hold the 1 gallon of water for a minute, instead holding it for about half the time. If we were to do this project again, one of our big changes would be moving the seam from the bottom of the bucket to the side of the bucket to help prevent leakage. Another thing we could work on is possibly testing different fabrics and testing different sealants, such as wax.
Our advice for future freshmen would be to meet with your group as soon as possible to begin your planning process for your project.
Advice I would give future freshmen about Freshman Engineering Design Day would be to set deadlines and goals ahead of the mandatory deadlines that your teacher gives you in order to give you flexibility and extra leeway in making sure you have a very successful and prosperous project.
Another advice would be to test multiple times beforehand so you not only know where to improve, but you have time to improve.
Lastly, make sure you're always communicating with your group and maintaining calm. If something doesn't go right, your engineers try and figure it out and your project will be just fine. Don't be nervous before FEDD. It's a really exciting day where you get to see everyone's hard work. So as long as you and your group put your best foot forward, it will be amazing.
Creating the fabric bucket allowed our group to understand firsthand the struggles hundreds of thousands of people experience every day when trying to transport drinking water. The collaboration and teamwork required to allow our project to go from an idea on a page to a fully working product revealed to us the power different people can have when they come together. Finally, we saw that with research, creativity, and teamwork, we can create real-world solutions and have an impact even as just students. Lastly, we grew as a group and the bonds within one another strengthened.